Sometimes when we're performing financial modeling, this kind of situation occurs where you have copied some set of data sets from elsewhere, you have pasted in your Excel spreadsheet, and simply due to the length of the data and the cell width not being sufficient enough, you can't see the data itself. So what you want to do is you want to increase the cell width, and of course you can do it with your mouse as usual. You could go up here and you could use your mouse to increase the width, and that also does the trick. But we also want to simply use our keyboards to do that. So here are the shortcuts for it. Shortcuts would go Alt-H, O for format, and W for width. You can see that our current column width is 7.56. Let's increase it to 10 and see what happens. And now we can see that the column width are sufficient enough to display, every numbers, but with the exception of row 10. So we still need a column width bigger than 10. So we would do Alt-H-O-W again and probably input something that is larger than 10 and see if the entire data fits. But instead of doing that, I'm going to press Ctrl-Z twice for the moment. Instead of doing that, an alternative and more efficient way to do that is simply select the entire set of data that we have. And this time, Excel provides us a Autofit with function, which is the Alt-H-O for format. So it's same up until here. And you want to press the I key for Autofit column width. So Alt-H-O-I. You can see that now all of the cells are automatically fit, and you don't have to, enter numbers anticipating the column width. So it's a much more simple way to format your column sizes. Same goes for this row as well. Simply, I think some of the rows really need a lot of width because it has some longer names. So in this case, select the entire names, and again let's perform Alt-H-O-I, and now it looks much more better, and we have done it instantly. There are similar shortcuts when it comes to heights of the cells as well. The shortcuts will go as Alt-H-O-H. So Alt-H-O for format, H for height. And this is pretty much the same. You would manually input some numbers, and if you press OK, you can see that the height has been increased. But when it comes to financial modeling, you rarely have to adjust the cell heights, but you will be adjusting the column width very often. And similarly, there are shortcuts to Autofit row heights, although as I mentioned, we don't use it very often. It goes Alt-H-O and A for Autofit row heights. So Alt-H-O-I for column width Autofit, and Alt-H-O-A for row height Autofit. And in the last part of our lecture, we're going to learn how to indent some of the names up here. So we have net revenues and total revenues, and these look like categories within the revenues, so business segments within the revenues. So what we want to do is we want to indent these names to the right, and the shortcuts for it would be Alt-H6 for additional indent. If you do it again, it's going to indent once more. On the other hand, if you want to move back to the left, instead of pressing Alt-H6, Alt H5 will do the trick of decreasing indents. So Alt H6 to increase indents, Alt H5 to decrease indents. So just once more, we have names of total operating expenses from product distribution costs to restructuring costs. So in this case as well, Alt H6 will increase indents. Same for maybe the income from equity investees, Alt H6. And now our income statement looks much better than before. We have adjusted the column width for the data sets and for the names as well. And we also used the indent function to indent the subcategories of revenues and operating expenses. So in this lesson, we've learned how to format the cells sizes and how to increase and decrease indents.